Hello and welcome to Oh When the Town. This is our preview show looking ahead to tomorrow night's fixture, Luton Town versus Sheffield United at Kenilworth Road. Tonight I'm joined by Dave Nobataro to look ahead to the fixture tomorrow. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, all good?
Yeah, looking forward to getting back to the Kenny.
Looking forward to getting back home in the league. I know we haven't had the best of time at home in all competitions this season, but I don't know, I feel a little bit more excited and confident going into this game now, especially that we got our first win last week against Swansea.
Yep, Friday night under the lights as well. And it's going to be a good atmosphere. And Sheffield are doing quite well, aren't they? So I'm sure they're going to bring...
Sheffield United.
Yeah, all right, Sheffield United. I apologise to any United fans watching or listening. They're doing very well. Top of the table. Started really strongly. They've probably, out of the top ones from last season, has maintained their form very quickly. So it's going to be a tough game. Last
season, obviously, they surprised everyone in the playoff semi-final second leg when they went to Forest and they managed to claw back that 2-1 deficit from the first leg. Unfortunately, just couldn't do it on penalties. But like us, it is going to be a big battle for this weekend, and they just fell short. But you expecting them to be thereabouts this season?
I'm expecting them to be on it for most of the season. I mean, it's early days, isn't it? Everybody has you can't judge anything, as we've been saying straight away in the regular podcast. You can't judge anything on like 4 or 5 games. But what you can say when they got 10 points or something like that under their belt, top of the table, they are really on a roll. They are going to turn up. Yeah, I expect them to be up there in the top 6.
You look at some of the fixtures they've played already. Obviously, they played Watford on the first game of the season, which ended in a 1-0 win for them. Millwall, Middlesbrough away, Sunderland at home, and Blackburn at home. And they've had some tough fixtures in there already. And they lost to Watford and drew against Middlesbrough, but it's a tough place to go. I don't know. Do you look at this fixture against us, and they're probably going, this could be one of our toughest tests so far this season?
I think they're aware of what we did last season. That's the point, isn't it? And they're aware how good we were last season. So I'd be hoping they'd be thinking, this is another tough game. On the opposite side of that, our start wasn't as good as we wanted it to be, even though it's not disastrous. So they might look at it and go, well, Luton's start's not been as good as ours. There's every chance we're going to go there and get a result.
Do you reckon Sheffield United, are they strong enough to win the league this season?
Why wouldn't they be? I think we got to go back to Premier League teams that have been relegated for a start. Can every team in our division compete with them? No. Are Sheffield United able to compete on that level? Possibly. They've done well, haven't they? Don't knock them. They want to get back there.
I watched a bit of the midweek game they played a couple of weeks ago against Sunderland, and I think the commentators in the build-up were saying they've got a few injuries at the moment, 2 key players out in the defence, and it's kind of like, you're looking at this team, they've started well. It's like you said, it's still early days, but with the form they had at the back end of last season and that second leg, which was heartbreaking for them against Forest. But
it was a brilliant game, by the way.
Brilliant game. But you're probably looking at them this season and it's kind of like that momentum stayed with them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we was hoping for, wasn't it, when we started this season? It hasn't been like that for us. It feels a bit more of a struggle. But for them, it just seems to have carried on like they've not had a break. And, it shows from where they are in the league, but it's early days, and it's very unlikely that a team that starts in the first 3 or 4 games at top of the league stays there for the whole season. I'm not saying they won't be there at the end of the season, but they don't stay there the whole season. So it's going to be a tough fixture, very tough fixture.
We struggled against them last season, didn't we? A 2-0 defeat in the away leg, and a 0-0 in the home game.
The away game was horrendously terrible for Luton. I mean, honestly,
it was all right until we got the red card, wasn't it?
Well, no, not really.
I can't remember.
No, it wasn't that great. It wasn't great. It was a terrible performance up there, and at home it was just almost the same, I think. Maybe they cancelled each other out last season, but we hopefully are going to get a little bit of momentum from the Swansea game, and anything can happen. Sky, dark, night at the Kenilworth Road, big atmosphere, big crowd, should be fun.
And you look at the Swansea game from last weekend, obviously the game ended, and we spoke about this on Tuesday on the podcast, but the game ended with Morris and Jerome up front.
Yeah.
When you're looking at this game tomorrow, what do you reckon we'll do attacking wise?
That's a good question. I think possibly Morris might start. And if Morris starts, does he start alongside Adebayo? Probably. Jerome, though, don't underestimate Jerome, because his input at Swansea was amazing, and that little pass towards the end was brilliant. So, if you're going to start two different attackers, it'll be probably Adebayo and Morris. But I'd like to see Jerome get a go.
For Sheffield United fans watching this right now, and they're maybe looking at us going, don't really know what we can expect from Luton. How would you describe the way we're playing at the moment?
If I'm honest, erratically, it's to start with. We haven't had that brilliant of a start, but I think you should watch out for us at home. Really, we're looking for a bit more possession, I would imagine. Catch them on the break if we're under the cosh. High press, and hopefully quick.
Well, a couple of days ago, you caught up with Johnny from the Shoreham View. Shall we see how you did?
Yeah, it was a good chat.
Yes, Johnny from the Shoreham View talking us all about Sheffield United.
So, time to speak to Johnny from Sheffield United. He's from the Shoreham View. Hi, Johnny. How are you?
I'm not too bad, my friend. How are you?
I'm brilliant. I'm looking forward to the game on Friday.
That makes one of us. And I never see us. I've seen us do well at your place once, and I think I've been there 3 or 4 times.
Oh, really? Are you coming down on the match?
I am, mate. Yeah. I'll hopefully last longer than half time at this one, unlike last year.
Oh, well, do you know what? If we think about last season, it was a good season for us both, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good.
And we both narrowly missed off in the playoffs, which saddens me. But then you got that momentum, and you start your season, and you go to Watford, and you lose 1-0.
Yeah.
But you're flying high now. What's changed since that game?
I do think we had a bit of a mini injury crisis at the beginning of that one game. We had a few key players missing, especially in defence. A few of those defenders that we rely on were out of position. We had Kieran Clark making his debut against very, very pacey strikers. He's not a very fast man, and we were playing him on his unfavoured foot on that side. So I think 0-0 would have been a fair result. But unfortunately, that pace that they have up front is scary. And it was always a risk to catch us. And to give it away from our own corner, I think just summed it up, really. After that, I think we got the players back. We've looked more consistent. We're starting to gel the new players in, which is always good. They're not just being thrown in at the deep end and has to make it theirs like the old-fashioned way. They're actually getting time to gel, to get to know the players around them. And I think we can only get stronger from that.
So you're top of the table right now, 10 points. What was it? 1-3, drew 1, lost 1, scored 9 goals. It's a brilliant start. So if you think about, we both missed off, but I think it was cruel for you guys to miss off on the playoffs last season. Sorry. What do you think the real aim is for Sheffield United? Do you think you've got that chance of getting to the autos this year, or is it one of those cases where we're still looking at those people that have dropped down from the Premier League with all that money, and we're going to be fighting for the playoffs again? When I say we, I mean you.
The thing is, I think it was cruel for everybody for Forest to go because they're just unbearable.
To be so true.
We had Huddersfield mugs on Championship Chatter Show on Pitch Sport because that's where we wanted to go up. The funny thing was, I thought if you guys had beat Huddersfield were always going to be harder for you than Forest were, because I think you played a style that didn't suit against Huddersfield the way they played. They're not an attacking team, really, Huddersfield. Whereas if you'd have played Forest, I think you'd have done better against them. So it was cruel to go out in that fashion. But we're used to it as Sheffield United fans. Playoffs are not our forte. So we have to go up top 2 or we're not going up. And it's as simple as that, really.
So do you think that's the honest goal for Sheffield United this year? Or is it just, it might be too much? Because at the moment we're going well, aren't you? You're going well. 10 points, top of the league. Are we dreaming too early?
We have to go up this season. That's not an arrogant thing to say. That's not saying we deserve to be in the Premier League, because any team that deserves to be in the Premier League gets to the Premier League. I'm speaking purely finances, contracts, investments made in the club. We have to go up this year before the parachute payments stop. Our owners already don't like spending that much money. They've impressed me with the transfer movements this season. I don't like them, but I have to give them all the credit I can because they've given us a good base to pull forward. Off the pitch, I think he's a bit more interested in this United world malarkey than he is actually improving things that need improvement at the club. And that'll only get worse if we don't go up. If we don't go up this season, I think we'll take more than just a step backwards. I think we'll be going and a very slippery path.
It's a difficult division this season.
Yeah.
If you think about last season and you looked at it, there was a few teams in there. You think, well, do you know what? They're not going to be challenging. Yeah. And people would have said that about Luton Town last season. Why would we be challenging? Because we just had an exceptional season. We had a bit of a slow start this season, but so you're saying you start the season, it's been pretty decent, hasn't it? You can't really fault it. And it's just, can you maintain the momentum?
If we can stay injury free, if we can get through 2 transfer windows without selling our 3 best players, and this is a very bold statement. Again, I don't mean to sound arrogant. I'm not one of them type of fans, but if we can keep those players fit, the system fit, and the players in the team and not sell them, like Sheffield United tend to do, any team that finishes above us is finishing first. And that's my honest opinion on it.
Wow, that's a good statement to make, and I hope it does. So I think it's not going to be Luton Town, sadly. But as a Luton fan, I have watched Sheffield United. I said to you before we came on that I've never cheered a team on as much as I did for you guys in the playoffs last season after we got beaten by Huddersfield. Who should we be looking out for your team? Who are the two, 3, 4 players that are going to be the ones that are going to cause us grief?
First one, our new guy, and I'm going to butcher his name again. He's only been here a few months. I started calling him an Elmex Mitozic because that's just a really easy way to say it. I met him in Mitozic. No, I'm not even going to try. He's centre half, brought him in from Malmo. He was on loan last season. I think he played Champions League football.
Wow.
He's a steal at 3 million plus add-ons, an absolute steal. I think Blackburn were after him and we kind of swept in and took that one. Younger player. He's a Bosnian. He plays very similar to the way Chris Basham played in our system, which was good enough. Basham was great at that. Basham was getting on. So to bring in a footballer who's younger, got the same mentality, but possibly a better player, is a great investment. And the way he comes forward, he's causing teams problems already. The other 2 are Sander Berger, hands down best player in the Championship, full stop. Stop all your arguments. He is. There's no other way around it. And we will be lucky to have him at the end of the transfer window. It is too good for us. Far too good for us.
Well, maybe not if you come up, huh?
That's the thing. We will lose players of that standard if we don't go up. And we're lucky to have him now. If he hadn't been injured for most of last season, there's no chance we'd have him, I don't think.
Wow.
And he's one of them that we need to avoid selling. The other one is Illiman Ndai. Young prospect, homegrown talent. Well, homegrown through our academy, should I say. Just sensational on the ball. He's bulked up, put some muscle on, caused a lot of problems up front. He's not got a set role. He's an attacker. He's an attacking midfielder. He kind of drifts, but he finds that space and he makes teams pay with the way he kind of keeps the ball at his feet, plays the 1-2 as a burger, gets in, can shoot from outside, makes himself known in the box as well, causes a lot of problems. And another one we really desperately need to keep hold of. Those 3 players are going to cause any team's problems this season. Hence why, if we lose them, we are scuppered. We are done for the season.
Wow. So, I mean, you said, you touched on it earlier, you say that you don't like coming to Kenilworth Road because we always give you a bit of a game.
It's not so much that I love the ground. I love the old school feel of it. Yeah. I love coming up the back steps. That's just, it's a novelty that will never wear off for me. But it's one of those unlucky grounds at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've said this to many away fans that used to be the home end, so it was natural. That was what I thought all home ends were when I was growing up. So yeah, it's a great stadium. You've got to enjoy it while we still got it. What I was going to say though is what is Sheffield United fans? Is it one of these games where you look at Luton Town and go, yeah, we should be winning that?
It depends which fan you ask. Every fan's got that fan base where they look at most games and think, oh, we're Sheffield United, we should be winning that. Because there's this mentality that I just don't understand. Realistically, on paper, away from home, I always think this for a team that's known to make it difficult with a good crowd. I think no matter how good your players are, you'll be lucky to come away with a point. So look for a point. Anything more is a bonus.
Well, exactly what we did at the weekend against Swansea. Yeah, we felt the same there. We got a great result. So I said to you again before we start, 9 players out injured. You turned over Blackburn 3-0. Brilliant result for Sheffield United, putting them top of the table. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow when you're at Kenilworth Road?
Well, for one, I won't be this sober. 2, I've got this horrible feeling, and I mean horrible, it'll be another 0-0. I don't think I could take that again.
Well, yeah.
Last season, I saw before half time that there was no chance of a goal in this game. No, it was just a really bad game. So I left at half time. This time, I can see it being a really good game, but no like keepers will keep mark posts, crossbars. The opposite 0-0.
Yeah, okay. And so an exciting 0-0 rather than one that's like tedious.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, it's brilliant to know that you actually think that we've got a chance. I generally think that Luton will give you a good game. We are obviously hopeful that we're going to get a back-to-back win, but we can't be sure of that. It's on Sky. It's under the lights. It's going to be a great night. Yeah. I hope you enjoy it, and with tongue in cheek here, hopefully not too much for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Johnny, thanks for joining us, and I wish you well. Safe travels down.
No problem. Thank you for having me, and hopefully see you there.
Yeah, I thought you did pretty well. Yeah,
thank
good
you.
Stuff.
Yeah, thank you. I'm occasionally quite good at that.
And clearly, Johnny's looking forward to the game. It's going to be a big game. I just hope it's. We've obviously had this really tough start to the season at home with the 0-0, the 1-0, the Newport 3-2, and it just quite hasn't happened yet.
No, but it's due to happen, isn't it? You don't go the whole season at home and not have a good game. If you judge by our two really good away performances, if we play like we played at Burnley or Swansea, got every chance of having a good result.
Just need that early goal, don't we? Just a nice early goal. We
just need something to settle us down, don't we? And I don't think the crowd really turns at all at home at the moment, but an early goal will put us on the right foot, won't it? And let's just hope they don't get one.
I was going to say, it's almost like we need that goal just to kind of relax a bit and make the crowd even just a bit more like, okay, we've finally got ourselves in front, because I'd back ourselves to go a goal ahead and try and be defensive to keep a lead.
Well, I'm sort of the opposite of that. I sometimes think when we go 1-0 up, if we don't get a second, we're very vulnerable. So I hope we get one and then we get a second one relatively quickly. I just think it's going to be a tough game. It could be 0-0, couldn't it? It could be one of those games where there's lots of chances. If we create as many chances as we did against Swansea, we'll take one. We'll take one, and there's always that, you always get that one chance. And if Nathan's got his match preparations right, then we'll give him a good game. But it's not going to be an easy game by any way, shape or form. It won't be easy.
Well, it's going to be a good game. Well, before we go then, we started this school prediction league at the start of this preview podcast. Patara's always moaning about it. He's never here to even do a prediction, but let's get your prediction then. Luton, Sheffield United tomorrow, what are you saying? How's it going to go down?
Right. My heart is saying that we're going to win and it's going to be 2-0. My head's saying something different, but my heart's saying 2-0, so that's what I'm going to go with.
I think we're going to go for a 2-1. I believe we're going to get back-to-back wins. It's going to be a very entertaining game on Sky, and I just think we're going to do it. I'm more confident this week than I was last week against Swansea. So, yeah, let us know what you think the score is going to be below. Leave a comment or let us know on social media, Owen the Town. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.